everyone, it's Destiny, and I recently attempted Spiral Abyss for the first time on my account, and while I was able to clear floor 12, I wasn't able to get too many stars. Floor 1 through 11 weren't much of an issue, it was primarily floor 12 that I noticed I had some struggles with. A couple days ago, Abyss reset, and now there's new floors and enemies to challenge, so I thought I'd see if my account can get more stars this time around. Before we get into today's video, I would love to know your favorite character you've built in Genshin, or one of your favorite teams. Lastly, if you'd like to see more Genshin content from me, consider subscribing, leaving a like to support the video, and now let's get straight into it. From my last video, there hasn't been too many changes on my account. I did upgrade and work on some characters a tad, but I've mainly been prepping for Nefer's release this past week. When it comes to my account, I thought I can quickly go over the characters like I did in my last video. Starting with the damage dealers on my account, I have Mavuika, Mulani, Lauma, and then lastly Flins. I ended up pulling for each of these characters as their banners came out, starting with Mavuika and with the latest banner being Flins. Plus, each of these banners had 4 stars that I wanted for my account. For example, Kuki on Lauma's banner, Sucrose and Aino on Flins' banner, and so on. As for my supports, I have invested a bit into Sitlali, Bennett, Yansan, Kuki, Xingqiu, and I recently acquired Sucrose and Aino. The most invested in support that I do have would be Kuki, as she's used alongside my Lauma, but she can also work as a nice electro character alongside Flins, which gives me electro resonance, plus provides me with healing. I unfortunately do not have a Nefer, but I was able to get pretty lucky on my Flins pulls, so we do have a bit more investment on Flins in particular. As for my teams, I can use some characters on multiple teams, for example, Kuki either on a Lauma team or a Flins team, but because Kuki is used on both, I likely am not going to be able to use my Lauma team on one side and then Flins team on another side of the Abyss. Instead, I would have to use Mavuika or Mulani, and use either my Lauma team or my Flins team on the other side of the Abyss. Now that we've gone over the characters, let's check out the new Spiral Abyss. Similar to last time, floor 10 through 11 weren't too difficult to get maximum stars on. On floor 10, I used my Mavuika team and my Lauma team, and I was able to clear floor 10 pretty easily, and on floor 11, I wanted to use my Lauma team and Flins team, so I wanted to try out potentially my Sitlali on my second team. And it went decently. I was still able to get all of these stars, but I don't see this performing super well for floor 12. Floor 11 had more difficulty than floor 10, but this still wasn't something that my team couldn't handle, and the true struggle was definitely floor 12 once again, and this took some creativity. Floor 12 looked great for my Lauma team and my Flins team, specifically Lauma first half and Flins second half. The issue is both my Lauma team and my Flins team share Kuki, and while I could try adding Sitlali to my Flins team again instead of Kuki, I don't think this will go too well for floor 12. I ended up trying Mavuika, Bennett, Sitlali, and Lauma for first half and my Flins team for the second half. I mainly wanted to see if this would work or not and was very open to just experimenting with my characters. For Chamber 1, the first half took a couple of attempts, but I was able to successfully beat it, and for side 2, this side was noticeably faster in clear time in comparison to the first half, and I ended up with 2 stars, and this definitely has a potential for 3 stars with more optimization. As for Chamber 2, this enemy right here was a bit annoying, since they would hit pretty hard, and it took me a couple of attempts to realize I could freeze them with Sitlali once they have this water zone thing around them. So I made sure to take advantage of that, and it did end up making this boss easier to deal with, and I was able to clear the first half. As for the second half, similar to Chamber 1, this was a noticeably faster clear time, which the Abyss buffs definitely help out with this, plus the enemies we're facing as well. As for floor 12, Chamber 3, this is where I made a grave mistake. I was facing the crap, which I thought, okay, this shouldn't be a big deal in my mind, and then I realized I was missing a key component to my team. I have no hydro application, and I thought that just Dendro plus Pyro would work, and quickly realized I was cooked. This was not going to work here. I still tried a couple of times, but yeah, this just isn't happening unless I had a Hydro character on this team. So unfortunately, I had to restart all of floor 12. Thankfully, I still have my 2 stars on Chamber 1 and 2, but I am a bit sad that I have to go through both chambers with a different team in mind in an attempt to clear Chamber 3. I knew my Flins team should be able to handle anything on side 2 of floor 12. So this mainly came down to changing my first team. Mavuika was doing very well for the first 2 chambers, so I still want to use her. I would like to still have Lauma, and now it comes down to potentially removing Bennett or Sitlali. Both I wasn't too comfortable with removing, but I needed to add a Hydro character to my team for Chamber 3. So I decided to remove Bennett, and for my Hydro options, I have Mulani, Xingqiu, Mona, and Barbara. I appreciated Bennett's healing, so maybe I can try Barbara. She wasn't very high leveled, but I could just give her Mulani's pieces for right now, just so she had better stats. And then I attempted Chamber 1, and I was actually a bit surprised since the team was working and was still dishing out decent damage, and I was able to successfully clear Chamber 1 first half again with this new team. Second half, pretty easy for Flins, so now I can move on to the second chamber. First half did take a couple of attempts, but I was able to clear it. I would heal with Barbara when needed and use Sitlali's attacks to freeze the enemy when it would have the water zone around it, and reapply buffs and use bursts as I would get them. I didn't have too much of a strict rotation with this team. I mainly just tried to ensure that Sitlali's skill was active and burst was used. Then when I would swap into Mavuika, I would use her burst. And as for Lauma and Barbara, I would swap into Lauma to reapply her skill and burst as well, and also use Barbara's abilities when available. This, of course, wasn't the best case scenario team, but it was working as I was able to beat Chamber 2 first half. Then with my Flins team, pretty easy for them to beat Chamber 2 second half as well. Now we're finally back to Chamber 3. I was a bit nervous because I was really hoping this would work. And when the crab went into the air and placed its plant-looking things, I was able to make these plants shoot back at the crab with Barbara and Lauma. And from there, I wasn't too sure honestly how to go about fighting the crab. So I just ended up fighting it in a bit of confusion on which character to have as my active character. And maybe I should have just fought it as I did with the other chambers with this team and swapped when it would go into the air. But honestly, I'm not too sure. Regardless though, I was able to clear this side, and while my clear time was pretty rough, likely due to me being pretty confused on what to do fully, I was able to finally attempt the second half for the first time, which this half wasn't very difficult for Flins at all, and I was able to successfully beat Abyss 12 with a good amount of trial and error, and I was able to get 6 out of 9 stars. Which I do think with more optimization on Chamber 1 and 2, and maybe with using my original teams I started with, or maybe using Ian-san in place of Lauma, I believe I can acquire 3 stars on Chamber 1 and maybe 3 stars on Chamber 2. But regardless, we ended with 33 out of 36 stars and improved how many stars we got since last time, which was 30 stars total. I really want to retry this once I get Nefer in a couple of days, but for right now, I'm pretty happy with the progress. And hopefully by the next Abyss, I will be able to get 36 stars. Here's also the builds for today's video, and I'd love to know what teams you all use in the latest Spiral Abyss. And also stay tuned for Nefer videos coming very soon. I will be pulling for her, building her, and so on. And I also want to play the Genshin UGC mode, so we have a lot of Genshin content coming very, very soon, so stay tuned for all of that. If you did enjoy today's video though, consider subscribing to see more from me, leave a like to support the video, and I hope you all have a great one. Bye bye!